Hello everyone, this is Park Adventures with Ted. Something doing a little different for this video. As you can see, we are coming into the Mackinaw area, Mackinaw City to be specific. Anyone that has been on this drive definitely recognized probably in that first minute, well after the intro, possibly where we are, but obviously as I talk, things are becoming much more clearer. Fortunately, when I videoed this, it was not clear because it was when the whole Canada Fire Action smoke was in play. So that's kind of a timeline of how far ahead I am when it comes to recording. Not so much as far as editing, but as far as recording. There we are taking a look at the old lighthouse there in Mackinaw. I don't know why I want to say Michigan City. I've done this intro like 4 times and I keep wanting to say Michigan City. Mackinaw City. Anyhow, set the bar straight there. So yeah, we're going over the bridge, and it's always a fun sight. Obviously much better when it's clear out. But so we're heading to St. Ignace to, well, I'm not going to get too far ahead of myself, but here we are crossing the bridge. I mean, despite the fire smoke from the Canadian fires, I mean, it's still an amazing view, no matter what's going on, no matter the weather, rain, shine, sun, sleet, fog, fire smoke. You know, it's always awesome to go over the bridge, no matter what's going on with Mother Nature. So yes, I guess while we're crossing the bridge, the reason why I'm doing a voiceover, there are so many reasons. I'm with a group of guys. Sometimes when you get recording, people like to say funny things, and we'll just leave it like that. That's all I'm gonna say. I'll let you set the imagination, and we'll go from there. So we're about the halfway point for the bridge. So fun little key facts about the Mackinaw Bridge. The length is 26,372 feet total in length, just about 5 miles. It spans between Mackinaw City and St. Ignace. The highway is I-75. The speed limit on the bridge is 45 miles per hour. Some more little facts. Here's one on the engineering side for any engineering buffs out there. The bridge is engineered to sway up to 35 feet east or west in severe winds to prevent structural failure. Now the reason why it's east or west is because I should have started out with between Michigan, Mackinaw, I don't know why I'm doing it. I told you I was doing this. Mackinaw City and St. Ignace. It is straight north and south, so hence why the east and west winds for that structural. There was a view earlier about there's inner grates that are steel, so you can actually look down to the water when you're driving over. If you suffer from, I am totally gonna butcher this word, Gephrophobia, It's also known as the fear of bridges. If you contact the Mackinaw Bridge Authority, they will drive your vehicle across for you for free. Interesting fact. The first car to cross the Mackinaw Bridge was a 1951 Chevrolet Style Line Deluxe owned by Albert Carter. He was on the first vehicle to officially cross the bridge on opening day. You know, I brought up all these facts and I didn't talk about when it opened. Maybe it did up here. Let me scroll back up. It doesn't tell the opening day. Anyhow, we are here at Shepler's Ferry. We're about to get on the ferry that you have to take either from Michigan City or St. Ignace to get to Mackinaw Island, which is where we are going. Now, I didn't do too much filming in the beginning of when we got on the island. I think it starts off right when we're going up to the fort, if I remember correctly. But here's some, view of St. Ignace as we're on the ferry, heading out of the bay and to Mackinaw Island. Alright, here we are coming into on the island. We're getting ready to disembark soon as we roll into the bay of Mackinaw Island where the ferries all come to. You could just see to the left the fort in screen, like left middle. Trust me, you will definitely know where it is due to later footage. But yeah, here we are, Mackinaw Island. Now, I didn't get all the staples. Here we are at the fort, looking back towards the bay. I had a feeling it started like this. I couldn't quite remember, but now it's coming to mind how everything, the sequence went. We took a short little stroll, hit a coffee shop. I didn't get any coffee, and then we decided to hit up the fort, and this is the road up the fort that we go. I say road, but it's the walkway. Didn't cut in time, apparently. Nice little shot of that section of Mackinaw Island downtown as we go into the Mackinaw Fort. So a little bit about the fort as you view what I'm showing. It was built in 1779-1780 to replace the vulnerable wooden Fort Michilimack, which will be later in the video. It's constructed from local limestone to control the strategic Great Lakes fur trade. It was transferred to U.S. control in 1796 under the Jay Treaty, 13 years after the Revolutionary War ended. Captured by the British on July 17, 1812, in the first land engagement of the war in the U.S., this is the War of 1812, it was defended successfully against a failed American recapture attempt during the Battle of Mackinaw Island in August of 1814. Who's this Josh Allen guy? He was returned to the United States following the treaty ending the war in 1815. Later, operations and preservation is active as a U.S. Army post through the 19th century until it closed in 1895. It was converted into a state and historic museum starting in 1959. It does feature daily cannon firings. Sorry, didn't witness one. Costume interpreters, we can see them right here. And the oldest buildings in Michigan. If you're planning to visit, an adult ticket is $17.50, which is 13 years of age and plus. A youth ticket is $10.50, which is ages 5 to 12. And then, following the fort, we decided to take a walk to Arch Rock. So on the way to Arch Rock, this is about a mile, if I remember correctly, as far as walking this from the fort to Arch Rock. I feel like that's wrong, but I also feel that that's very correct. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to look this up. So as you can see, this is a very nice looking trail. I love how the woods are, the little nooks off to the side. There are a lot of informational placards on this trail. And it was like, there was a lot. I almost thought about putting a few in, but then when I just realized what it entailed, I was like, nope, not going to. I mean, there's all those to the right, that little nook, walk to the right, but then there's some, you could just see it here to the left coming into view. You know, there's a sign right there. I think I was talking about the tree or what type of tree it was. So much information. Trust me, I'm not about not putting information in, but sometimes I get a little focused on the trail, which is where I was in the moment. But, just look at the view. How can you not be like, hello? Being summertime, it is definitely a hot attraction coming up to Mackinaw Island. For the whole Canadian smoked aspect and all the fire smoke, I felt like there was still a lot of people on the island. I'm sure there's a lot of people that switched plans up and canceled their plans, but I felt for the conditions, there was still a lot of people up there, in my opinion, for I know there's always been a debacle with the ferry prices, and then like I said, with the whole Canadian smoke aspect going on this weekend that I was up there. So yeah, here we are, just, you know, walking this trail. It's about a mile if I didn't say it. But yeah, it's about a mile from the backside of the fort getting to our truck. So it's just a short little hike. Nothing excruciating by any means. But it definitely helps if you... What we did is, because we were already paid admission to the fort, we went in that front entrance, but we just went out the back side of it. You're already up, don't have to worry about getting upstairs or anything like that, so figured while we're up here, we might as well get to our truck. Now, as far as trails on the island, there are so many trails on the island. I do want to get back up to the island. I was planning on it. That's why I didn't know what I wanted to do with this video. Originally, I was going to make it kind of a teaser. I was really going to break it down. But some life choices of mine have changed. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to put this on the back burner. I've got other aspects in line for what I'm saving up to is a long trip overseas. Don't worry, there's some hiking involved. The white pine tree is the state tree, as you saw by that sign that we just passed. So I was gonna throw some different background music in here, and I'm not gonna lie, I just decided to keep this one rolling and going. Hopefully you enjoy it. Looking at the timeline, we're like the 6th looping of it, but I figured it works. It's subtle, it's nice, it's beautiful. I'll go ahead and leave you two enjoying the trail here for a minute. So even as busy as this trail was, I mean, and some would probably say this isn't busy at all, which, I mean, I wouldn't call this busy, but you could definitely tell in our time of walking this, just the amount of people that were on it just shows how many people were on the island. I mean, most everyone, you know, stays in that downtown corridor that we'll see later. But yeah, I mean, just imagine if there was no Canadian smoke action going on. It was a full summer day. I mean, it's still a summer day, don't get me wrong. I guess what I'm saying is we didn't have the Canadian smoke action going on. Like, just imagine what would it be like up here on this beautiful trail heading to our truck. This is actually a cross, I think it was a cross trail. Maybe it was a side road. I don't quite remember. So I think I did more photos than video of Arch Rock because of the amount of people there. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start with some Arch Rock facts. We're getting closer, obviously, as we are walking to it. So let's go ahead and get some Arch Rock stuff out of the way before we get ahead of ourselves here. So the height is 146 feet above the water of Lake Huron, and it spans 50 feet across at its widest point. It is made of limestone, a material that is rarely strong enough to form lasting natural bridges in the Great Lakes region. It was shaped roughly 4,000 years ago, when higher post-glacial lake levels slowly eroded and dissolved the softer center of the rock. It was kind of funny coming across these people. Sorry, side note. And I apologize if they ever run across this video, but you could definitely tell that they were in disagreement. And it was kind of funny, but not funny. But it's just, you know, it's relationships at their finest. We all argue. We all have our moments. It's how you resolve them. But anyhow, we're not here for that advice. So back to Arch Rock. It is viewed as a piece of great spiritual power and a sacred resting place or bridge for departed souls with the Native American lore. For park inspiration, it is a striking appearance helped motivate the creation of early park protections on the island starting in the late 19th century. So here we are coming down to Arch Rock. There's like a visitor center to the right. I think it was kind of like a nature visitor center if I remember correctly. I did not go into it. Yeah, right there it says Malkin Nature Center. I used the restroom. So as you can see, we're coming up just a lot of people as we are getting closer to Arch Rock. And here is Arch Rock. I was going to try to make it to the end, but that crowd down there just was not moving. So as you can see, I gave up when I came back down. You see the bike path down below. Just waiting for my group, and I was like, you know what? Let's take a look at this Nicollet Watchtower. So up we went. Well, I went. And it's just a lookout. Nothing super special. Probably much better appealing, but you know, when the sky conditions are more optimal. Alright, so that was the nature center to the left. Like I said, we took a little breather, a little break, took a bathroom break. Some people went in the nature center. I decided to opt for the sitting down and drinking some water. And we're gonna take this path that leads all the way down to that bike trail that you briefly saw, probably someone on it. Again, a lot of nice pathways on Mackinaw Island. I think it's funny that they have to put no horses for this path. And again, you know, the informational placards, they're just littered in a good way. I say that in a positive way. Very informational. Now the actual trail that we wanted to take was to the right. People in my group, we did want to take to the right. So we made it down the stairs. I thought I had a picture of the stairs, but it's just a lot of downstairs. There's the landing for it. You can see all the bikes over there. And then we're downtown. Came around the loop. And just enjoying this walk as we go and find something to eat. A lot of pretty houses. There's the fort. There'll be a much clearer view later. Okay, remember we stopped and did something right here. But I was like, you know what? Nice little boats going on. A lot of people probably coming from other areas. Again, the Victorian houses. Looks beautiful. And the Mackinaw fort. Now again, you know, I don't think I have any pictures of the fudge shops, but just gonna show you a little bit of downtown, and I'll let you enjoy. So here we are getting on the ferry, embarking. So I wanted to go back, and the reason why there's so many bikes on the island, if you don't know, is it's basically horse, you're walking, running, or bike. I mean, they do have vehicle, obviously, for emergency purposes. But yeah, that's what the island is. It's all about walking, biking. And here we are, just on the ferry, just embarking on Mackinaw Island, getting turned around, and heading back to the landing where we came from. There's still a little bit more, hang on, but I just want to say thank you. Hopefully this little bit of a different style of a video, documentary-ish, voiceover, hopefully it turns out great. I hope you enjoyed it. You know the drill. Follow, comment, share. But yeah, there's the island as we are leaving. You can definitely tell that it's much clearer as the day went on. Just a beautiful photo right there. I mean, it's video, but if you were to snap the shot. So I want to run across some quick facts for the Grand Hotel that you can see up here to the left. The opening date for the Grand Hotel on Mackinaw Island was July 10th, 1887. It was formed by the Michigan Central Railroad, Grand Rapids and Indiana Railroad, and Detroit and Cleveland Steamship Navigation Company. It was completed in a rapid 93 days of construction. The front porch measures 660 feet long, holding the world record for the largest hotel porch. There it is. Put an arrow right there. There's the hotel. It has been visited by 5 U.S. presidents. Just thought to throw a little tidbit out there. You know the drill. All right. As we come to an end. Thank you for watching.